Well, hello and welcome to Good Times, and we are talking to the ladies of Mirzapur. So, tell us, what are the ladies of Mirzapur like?
Very mysterious.
Lot of fun, crazy,
unpredictable,
progressive,
beautiful,
headstrong,
that we can see.
talented,
charming,
Unafraid to
I think we
explore
can
their
keep-
desires.
I like that. And coming to you first, Rasika. I mean, many people, like I was reading, saying that your character is modeled on Meena Kumari in Sahib, Bibi or Gulam, but she's a sexually liberated woman who's unafraid. So, tell us a bit about that.
Well, not really modeled. I think the similarities would probably end at being stuck in a haveli and being not knowing what to do. That's
But she has a bhootnath in her life?
no, not one. Many. So yeah, she's kind of Meena Tripathi is very mysterious, and she was very exciting to me for that reason, because I had never been offered a role like this before.
I last saw you in Manto,
Yes,
Safiya ke baad.
very different from Safiya, and I shot for this about 3-4 months after I finished shooting for Manto. So there were two very different and very exciting roles in the same year for me. Very different in their physicality, very different as in how they are wired. And I think what really excited me about Beena was that and about all the women in Mirzapur, that they're acknowledged as sexual beings, and that is very rare to find in anything that I've worked on before, for sure. And I haven't seen it around much in the stuff that I watch coming out from in films or in shows that we make.
And I'll come to you then. I last met you for Masan, but your opening sequence in Mirzapur has also shocked a whole lot of people, that after Swara's Veere, we have another one who was not scared to like fantasize.
Yeah.
So when you got this movie, was it an instant yes? And your character, what did you bring to the table?
The thing is, like she said, the women of Mirzapur are sexually, everybody has desires, and I think even we as girls, as women, like boys, we have those desires, and there's nothing wrong with it. So for me, when I read those scenes and that scene, and when I got to know about the entire graph and the story of Mirzapur, even for 2 seconds, I did not think about it that is it a bold scene, or should I discuss it with my family. For me, it was as normal and regular as having coffee. Just in Masan, I'm having coffee with Vicky. This was as regular. It did not, because this is something which happens in with every girl. So even if Swara is doing it or whoever is doing it, my heart breaks when we make a big issue out of such things, because this is so normal and we are doing it. And I think
and we talk about male desire all the time, and it's exhausting
on posters, in films and everything. But if a woman does it, it becomes such a big issue. And you know what is really scary is that as actors, I think we are quite brave, that we are pushing the boundaries and trying to do characters which are very different from characters that we've seen before. But when a headline is made in a very wrong way, then it just circles back to, then your parents are thinking, your in-laws are thinking, and I don't want that. I'm an actor because I love acting and I love that bit about it. So चाहे वो कोई masturbation का scene होगा, या फिर love making scene होगा, या किसी को मारने का scene होगा. In fact, performance wise, that was the easiest scene, because it's the way it's being shot and not really what I'm doing in the scene.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to add to what Shweta's saying, that these things, as an actor, you're able to judge if a scene like that is written for the sake of it, or if it really is part of the character or the graph or the journey in a particular film. So in Mirzapur, when you do see these scenes, you somewhere understand that they do make sense. It's not pointlessly added. So the conversation is not about that everyone must do it, or even judging people who don't do it. Fair enough. But to make a big deal out of it is just, I mean, women need to support women.
Absolutely.
And I think it's very important to know why the scene is there. Now, this scene is there to show what is going inside Golu Gupta's mind. She's the top of her college, but what is she doing? So, and she doesn't do this all the time, but that is what the writer wanted. Right. So, it's great when the scene is seen for what it is, and not when the mudda
a lot of
becomes
people
something
look
else.
at it as like just titillation, and that becomes the main point. And you are the biker chick, sweetie.
Yeah, I mean, biker chick in the sense she's not shown in like the whole show just riding a bike, but it's just an interesting visual to see Sweetie Gupta ride a bike with her boyfriend, her lover, sitting behind her, you know, and her lover being somebody who is like this huge guy who otherwise outside is like out there trying to conquer the world, but with her he's really vulnerable. And like most characters in Mirzapur, we were talking about it, they're strong and vulnerable at the same time. They're able to embrace both these sides, and the show has given every character the opportunity to showcase that side.
True.
So that's wonderful.
And also, the three of you, do you find an OTT platform, since you've done films also, far more liberating for you as actors than movie? Because movie is 2 hours and it's also constricted. But an OTT platform, you're living that character, like if the series is long enough for maybe 6 months and a new season. So is it far more liberating?
In terms of the time you get to develop the character, yes, because as compared to say a 2.5 or 3 hour film where not every character is able to go all the way, in a web series on your OTT platform, I think you have that space for characters to explore and find their grafts. So it doesn't become about the main leads. It's about all the characters.
Everybody.
As well.
And also, I think there has been some very interesting writing that I have seen in the last year and a half that is happening in the series format. I think the format also encourages a lot of good writing, or demands a lot of good writing, because there is that much time to be able to build, like she said, to have many characters and to see them through a graph and to have those parallel tracks happening. So I've seen some and also very path-breaking in terms of content, in terms of the way they write women characters. So that's been very exciting. I think for that reason, when you have a liberating script, then yeah, you do feel liberated.
True. What about you, Anisa?
I think it's very challenging because, like you said, when you're doing a film, it's for 2 hours or hour and a half or 2.5 hours max. But a series like Mirzapur is for 7.5, 8 hours. So you have to remember what your character is doing and your co-actors in episode 2, because then you might be shooting for the climax and then you might be coming back to episode 5. So as opposed to film, it's very easy to know exactly kab kahan kya ho raha hai. So this, your socks always have to be up. And I thought that acting is same for all the platforms until I did Mirzapur.
And also, since you're with the gangsters, we've got very endearing names. Like I just met Guddu and Munna.
But they're lovely
So
characters.
we have Guddu, Munna, Sweetie, Golu, Dimpy,
Dimpy, yeah.
and
They're all very sweet names.
and then we have Akhandanand.
और इतने प्यारे नाम, but the दिमाग is that of a शैतान. How
पर
does
उसमें ही मजा है ना, नाम प्यारे हैं पर दिमाग प्यारा भी है actually, पर
In fact, the only सीधा इंसान in Mirzapur must be Akhandanand, Kalin Bhaiya.
No, but that's true. I think
He's
he's
the only
one person
straightforward.
you know ki exactly what will he do as opposed to any of the characters.
True, because he's a businessman. उसका clear है. उसके business में मुनाफा हो रहा है तो वो decision लेंगे नहीं तो लेंगे. इनकी emotionally कुछ और चीजें चल
We're
रही
still
हैं.
discovering ourselves, fighting our battles. Kalin Bhaiya has already won all battles and is sitting and just
Enjoy
living.
that.
And like talking about Mirzapur, you know, very often when we hear stories like these, stories are depicted where the men are shown as the strong gun-wielding guys, the women are shown as the submissive women. And you read about Eastern UP also, women, they have a voice, but we don't hear many of those voices. But here, there are these strong women, free to explore their sexual desires, free to say things the way they are, riding bikes, whipping it. So was that a breath of fresh air for you? Were like, you're not playing the demure, docile women here.
I think that women in small towns actually
I agree.
have a lot happening.
Yeah.
It's that we don't tell that story, or we don't know that story, or we haven't bothered to tell
Or
that
we
story.
choose not to tell that story.
Choose not to tell
Or we choose to not tell that story, because in whatever I've seen, in fact, I've found those stories very interesting, because I feel like women find a way to negotiate their freedom. You know, they find ways to achieve their freedom.
They are the voice and the mind
Exactly.
behind.
And they might, on the surface of it, not be questioning patriarchy or traditions in any way. I mean, वो बिना अपने फादर इन लॉ के पैर दबाएगी और मालिश करेगी, लेकिन अंदर कुछ और ही कहानी चल रही है.
History actually changes because of a woman.
So ऊपर से शायद वो question ना करें, लेकिन अंदर they have found ways to negotiate their freedom, and there's a lot happening there. And those stories have always been very interesting to me, and I'm very happy that the writer has seen that side and brought that out in Mirzapur like that.
And I think the women of Mirzapur have realized that it's very easy to pick up a gun and show power. But it is what goes on here and the people who are holding the gun. How and what you can do with them. that is what the women are doing.
And it's not, I think, the power that we've shown in the show is not just power that comes with holding a weapon, but it's also about making a choice. Sometimes power and strength is also not firing the gun. And in Mirzapur, there are moments like that of conflict with every character. So in no way are we trying to say that power is only if you can fire a gun, basically.
And also, young ladies, like these days they say women, with, you know, cinema frontline by women is doing well. I've spoken to people in the past that said it happened, but it was never spoken about. It's being spoken about a lot more. So what does this new generation have to say? It's like liberating for you as actors, because you know, it's the story and the character now. You don't have to be a star. You need to be, it's a character that's now driving the...
Right.
This is what we were discussing also, that in fact my husband, he pointed this out, that in Bombay right now, if you look at the biggest hoardings, there's obviously Mirzapur, and look at the people. There's all of us. We all three of us come from theatre background. There's Ali Fazal. Again, we all have done plays together or separately. There's the Vindu who studied acting. There's Pankaj Tripathi. So it's a very different breed of actor. There's another show jiske hoardings were on that has Kalki, it has Neel Bhupalam. These are all people we know personally, and we are here because of our talent and nothing else. So that makes us really proud, and when you see the kind of publicity that's being done for Mirzapur and the kind of product that we've made, it makes you feel like kahin to kuch sahi kar rahe hain.
Do you think kahin, like all these platforms are now going to dilute the essence of cinema?
Not at all. I think it's storytelling. And it's what you want to say. ये movie में बनी नहीं सकता. Mirzapur cannot be made into a feature film. Then it needs 3 parts or whatever.
Like a gangs of a set 4.
In fact, the writing that is happening for the series format has encouraged films to relook at what they've been doing so far, and it's encouraging them to push the boundaries of what they write.
True.
So I think it's a very welcome
Everything
change
you
to
have to
this.
put your best step forward. Otherwise, bye.
Now that you think of it, sometimes films can take the easy way out as well, you know. You can stop
Convenient
halfway.
way ending.
Exactly. But I don't think even as actors, we don't really look at these mediums as one versus the other now. So it's just great that we're able to find fulfillment in all these mediums, and they're gratifying in their own
And there's
way.
so much more opportunity for work for so many actors.
I agree.
Not only actors, even writers, directors.
And for new people to
Everybody.
enter the game. It's not those same 10 people making the same 10
Even
films
the
over
audience,
and
as an
over
audience,
again.
you have so much more choice. आपको आप बधाई हो देखने जा सकते हो, आप स्त्री देखने जा सकते हो, और या फिर घर पे बैठ के उसी रात को you could be watching Mirzapur.
Awesome, but we are going to go on a Mirzapur binge. Anyways, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice talking
Thank
to
you.
you.